Hello, friends. So the plan is I'm gonna go and grab some sleep because I've been awake for almost 12 hours now. So in the meantime, I'm gonna leave you with Dan and Dan Olson and Crystal and all the other fun people. Um,
Oh boy.
who can take you through Comedy of Errors and then possibly some others as well, depending on how long I sleep. But I'll be back in a few hours, I think. So I will update the little text thingy. Currently reading Comedy of Errors.
So I hear there's a bunch of errors in this one,
Yeah.
like that reach a point of like comedic.
And you, Alice, you know how to change over the text and stuff in OBS. It's super easy.
Just give me one thing. My brain's not working on
Literally, you just like double click on it there, and then you can just change it if it needs to be. And also the same with the stream goal is like really self-explanatory if that needs anything. So I have actually brought along a friend who a little friend who doesn't say anything but who can sit in the chair. So I will go and get the little friend, and then we'll go and roll.
Friend.
Yeah.
You meant me for a minute. I was really confused.
No.
I'm so excited. I don't know what the friend is. It's gonna be amazing. I feel it in my.
I've been helping
bones.
set this up since day one, and I don't know what the friend is.
I see it coming. Oh, it's a garden frog. Or is that a toad? That looks actually a little more like a toad.
I think it's one of those gay frogs from all the chemicals.
Aw, that is a fantastic toad. Look
Thank
at that
you.
toad
Thank
with
you.
It's got a good face.
I guess you don't
That
have
is a
skeleton
good-faced
crew,
toad.
a frog crew.
Yeah, we don't have a skeleton crew. We've just got an amphibious gang. Okay, well, I will leave you in the capable hands of the frog. I guess I can mute this microphone. So I will go and have a little bit of sleepy, and I will see you all
Yes.
later on.
Mute the microphone and go have a sleep.
All right, thanks.
I guess that. I feel like I can still hear that microphone. Can chat hear me? Okay, so chat can hear me. Chat. Okay, there. I think there we go. All right, so I guess that leaves it to us to continue into Comedy of Errors, and I think I'm actually just holding down the fort and entertaining you all while the rest of the cast moves on in. So. What did everybody think of Richard II? So that was my first time actually going through the full play of Richard the Section Richard II. It's I think an interesting play, and it has some interesting parts, and I think the particularly kind of fascinating or to let's actually take the play and put it in sort of a modern context of genre, which is that it kind of climaxes as a courtroom drama, that you have all of this buildup of like war and intrigue, and Bolingbroke assembles this army, and his army like triples in size because he basically he either kills or intimidates his political enemies into joining his army, and it's going to be this big clash, and then they all go sit in a courtroom and yell at each other until the king resigns. And then that's kind of it for quite a while until it just becomes very politically expedient for Richard to not be around anymore, and Bolingbroke initiates a political purge, and has basically all but one of his surviving enemies and opposing claimants killed. So everybody has been moved in, but I don't know who takes. Should I just keep going? I mean, I can fill an immense amount of air with talk about things and stuff, and Shakespeare. Shakespeare isn't it's not my forte, but I have absorbed a decent amount over the years. It turns out there's a lot of Shakespeare, and it is incredibly commonly adapted, and you have the shocking thing often is in studying Shakespeare and realizing just how much you have absorbed through adaptation, indirect adaptation, and so on and so forth. So Comedy of Errors is what's coming up next. And this is one of the earlier plays attributed to Shakespeare. This is also one of the ones that is, oh boy, are we going to have some fun with some geography. So Shakespeare had a habit of writing about stuff that he knew nothing about, and he had no real mechanism to fact check. I shouldn't have said, I said attributed in a way that made it sound a little bit more suspicious than was intended. No, I was more, I am not I am a Stratfordian. I don't I am not one of the revisionists. No, it's just that there are a few in the canon, like in the total volume, where people are like, I don't know, sure, why not?
Dan?
Yes.
Everyone is set for Comedy of Errors. So
everyone is set for Comedy of Errors, and
yeah.
Everybody knows their roles, and I guess I'm taking the reins on this. So let's begin. Ladies and gentlemen, and guys, gals, non-binary pals, and those betwixt, Twitch Philosophy Tube presents A Comedy of Errors. Scene 1, a hall in Duke Silenius' palace. Enter Duke Silenius, Aegon, jailer, officers, and other attendants.
Proceed, Silenus, to procure my fall, and by the doom of death end woes and all. Merchant of Syracuse, plead no more. I am not partial to infringe our laws. The enmity and discord which of late sprung from the rancorous outrage of your duke to merchants, our well-dealing countrymen, who wanting guilders to redeem their lives, have sealed his rigorous statutes with their bloods, excludes all pity from our threatening looks. For, since the mortal and intestine jars twixt thy sedidious countrymen and us, and hath in solemn synods been decreed, both by the Syracusians and ourselves, to admit no traffic to our adverse towns, nay, more. If any born at Ephesius be seen, at any Syracusian marts and fairs, again, if any Syracusian born come to the bay of Ephesus, he dies. His goods confiscate to the duke's dispose, unless 1,000 marks be levied, to quit the penalty and to ransom him. Thy substance, valued at the highest rate, cannot amount unto 100 marks. Therefore, by law, thou art condemned to die. Yet this my comfort. When your words are done, my woes end likewise with the evening sun. Well, Syracusian, say in brief the cause, why thou departst from thy native home, and for what cause thou comest to Ephesus. A heavier task could not have been imposed than I speak my griefs unspeakable. Yet that the word which witness that my end was wrought by nature, not by vile offence, I'll utter what my sorrows give me leave. In Syracusa I was born and wed unto a woman, happy but for me, and by me had not our hap been bad. With her I lived in joy, our wealth increased, by prosperous voyages I often made to Epidamium, till my factor's death and the great care of goods at random left drew me from my kind embracements of my spouse, from whom my absence was not 6 months old before herself, almost at fainting under the pleasing punishment that women bear, had made provision for her following me, and soon and safe arrived where I was. There had she not been long, but she became a joyful mother of 2 goodly sons, and, which was strange, the one so like the other, as could not distinguished but by names. That very hour, and in the selfsame inn, a meaner woman was delivered of such a burden, male twins, both alike, those, for their parents were exceeding poor, I bought and brought up to attend my sons. My wife, not meanly proud of 2 such boys, made daily motions for our home return. Unwilling, I agreed. Alas, too soon we came aboard. A league from Epidamium had we sailed, before the always window baying deep gave any tragic instance of our harm. But no longer did we retain much hope, for what obscured light the heavens did grant did but convey unto our fearful minds a doubtful warrant of immediate death, which though myself would gladly have embraced, yet the incessant weepings of my wife, weeping before what she saw must come, and piteous plainings of the pretty babes, that mourned for fashion, ignorant what to fear, forced me to seek delays from them and me. And this it was, for other means was none. The sailors fought for safety by our boat, and left the ship, then sinking ripe to us. My wife, more careful for the latter born, had fastened him upon a small spare mast, such as seafaring men provide for storms. To him one of the other twins was bound, whilst I had been like heedful of the other. The children thus disposed, my wife and I, fixing our eyes on whom we care was fixed, fastened ourselves either end of the mast, and floating straight, obedient to the stream, was carried towards Corinth, as we thought. At length the sun, gazing upon the earth, dispersed those vapors that offended us, and by the benefit of this wished light, the seas was calm, and we discovered 2 ships from far made to us, of Corinth that, of Epidarius this, but ere they came, oh, let me say no more, gather the sequel by that one. Nay, forward, old man, do not break off so, for we may pity, though do not pardon thee. Oh, hath the gods done so, I had not now worthy termed them merciless to us. For ere the ships could meet by twice 5 leagues, we were encountered by a mighty rock, which being violently borne upon, our helpful ship was splintered in the midst. So that, in this unjust divorce of us, fortune had left us both of us alike, what to delight in, what to sorrow for. Her part, poor soul, seeming as burdened with lesser weight, but not with lesser woe, was carried with more speed before the wind. And in our sight, there they were taken up by fishermen of Corinth, as we thought. At length, another ship had seized on us, and, knowing with whom it was their hap to salve, gave healthful welcome to their shipwrecked guests, and would have reft the fishers of their prey, had not their bark been slow of sail, and therefore homeward did they bend their course. Thus have you heard me sever my bliss, that by misfortunes was my life prolonged, to tell sad stories of my own mishaps. And for the sake of them, those sorrowed for, do me the favour to dilate at full what hath befallen of them and thee till now. My youngest boy, and yet my eldest care, at 18 years became inquisitive after his brother, and importuned me that his attendant, so his case was like, reft of his brother, but retained his name, might bear him company in the quest of him, whomst while I abhorred of a labour of love to see, I hazarded the loss of whom I loved. 5 summers have I spent in furthest Greece, roaming clean through the bounds of Asia, and, coasting homeward, came to Ephesus, hopeless to find, let loath to leave unsought, or that any place that harbors men. But here must end the story of my life, and happy were I in my timely death, could all my travels warrant me they live. Hapless Aegon, whom the fates have marked to bear the extremity of dire mishap, now, trust me, were it not against our laws, against my crown, my oath, my dignity, which princes would they may not disannul, my soul would sue as advocate for thee. But thou art judged to the death, and past sentence may not be recalled, but to our honour's great disparagement, yet I will favour thee in what I can. Therefore, merchant, I'll limit thee this day to seek thy life by beneficial help. Try all those friends thou hast in Ephesus, beg thou, or borrow, to make up the sum, and live, if no, then thou art doomed to die. Gaoler, take him to thy custody.
I will, my lord.
Hopeless and hopeless doth Aegon wend, but to procrastinate his lifeless end.
Exunt. Scene 2, the mart. Enter Antipholus of Syracuse, Dromio of Syracuse, and first merchant.
Therefore give out you are of Epidemium, lest that your good too soon to be confiscated. This very day a Syracuseian merchant is apprehended for arrival here, and not being able to buy out his life, according to the statute of the town, dies here at the weary sun set in the west. There is your money that I had to keep, Antipholus.
Go bear it to the centaur, where we host, and stay there, Dromio, till I come to thee. Within this hour it will be dinner time. Till that, I'll view the manners of the town, peruse the traders, gaze upon the buildings, and then return and sleep within mine inn. For with long travel I am stiff and weary. Get thee away.
Many a man would take you at your word, and go indeed, having so good a mien. Exits.
A trusty villain, sir, that very oft, when I am dull with care and melancholy, lightens my humour with his merry jests. That will you walk with me about the town, and then go to my inn and dine with me?
I am invited, sir, to certain merchants of whom I hope to make much benefit. I crave your pardon. Soon at 5 o'clock, please you, I'll meet with you upon the mart, and afterwards consort you till bedtime. My present business calls from me now, Antipholus.
Farewell till then. I will go lose myself and wander up and down to view the city.
Sir, I command you to your own content.
He that commends me to mine own content commends me to the thing I cannot get. I to the world am like a drop of water that in the ocean seeks another drop, who, failing there to find his fellow forth, unseen, inquisitive, confounds himself. So I, to find a mother and a brother, in quest of them, unhappy, lose myself. Oh, here comes the almanac of my true date. What now? How chance thou art returned so soon?
Returned so soon, rather approached too late. The capon burns, the pig falls from the spit, the clock hath struck 12 upon the bell. My mistress made it one upon my cheek. She is so hot because the meat is cold. The meat is cold because you come not home. You come not home because you have no stomach. You have no stomach, having broke your fast. But we that know what 'tis to fast and pray are penitent for your default today.
Stop in your wind, sir. Tell me this, I pray. Where have you left the money that I gave you?
Oh, 6pence that I had o' Wednesday last, to pay the saddler for my mistress' cupper. The saddler had it, sir, I kept it not.
I am not in a sport of humour now. Tell me, and dally not, where is the money? We being strangers here, how darest thou trust so great a charge from thine own custody?
I pray you, ere as you sit at dinner, I from my mistress come to you in post. If I return, I shall be post indeed, for she will score your fault upon my pate. Methinks your maw, like mine, should be your clock, and strike you home without a messenger.
Come, Dromio, come. These jests are out of season. Reserve them till a merrier hour than this. Where is the gold I gave in charge to thee?
To me, sir? Why, you gave no gold to me.
Come on, sir knave, have you done your foolishness, and tell me how thou hast disposed thy charge?
My charge was but to fetch you from the mart, home to your house, the Phoenix, sir, to dinner. My mistress and her sister stays for you.
In what safe place you have bestowed my money, or I shall break that merry sconce of yours that stands untwixt when I am undisposed. Where is the 1,000 marks thou hadst of me?
I have some marks of yours upon my pate, some of my mistress's marks upon my shoulders, but not 1,000 marks between you both. If I should pay your worship those again, perchance you will not bear them patiently.
Thy mistress marks? What mistress, slave, hast thou?
Your worship's wife, my mistress at the Phoenix, she that doth fast till you come home to dinner, and prays that you will hie you home to dinner.
What? Wilt thou flout me thus unto my face? Being forbid, there, take you that, sir knave.
What mean you, sir? For God's sake, hold your hands. Nay, and you will not, sir. I take my heels.
Upon my life,
Romeo of Ephesus runs away.
Upon my life, by some device or other, the villain is overwrought all of my money. They say this town is full of cozenage, as nimble jugglers that deceive the eye, dark working sorcerers that change the mind, soul-killing witches that deform the body, disguised cheaters, prating mountebanks, and many such like liberties of sin. If it proves so, I will be gone the sooner. I'll to the centaur, to go seek this slave. I greatly fear my money is not safe.
Exit. Act 2, Scene 1, the house of Antipholus of Ephesus. Enter Adriana and Luciana.
Neither my husband nor the slave returned, that in such haste I sent to seek his master. Sure, Luciana, it's 2 o'clock. Perhaps some merchant hath invited him, and from the mart he somewhere gone to dinner. Good sister, let us dine and never fret. A man is the master of his liberty. Time is their master, and when they see time, they'll go or come. If so, be patient, sister. And should their liberty than ours be more, because their business still lies out a door. Look, when I serve him, he takes it ill. Oh no, he is the brittle of your will. There's none but asses that will be brittled so. Why, headstrong liberty is lashed with woe. There's nothing to situate under heaven's eye, but hath his bound in earth, sea, and sky. The beasts, the fishes, and the winged fowls are their male subjects and their controls. Men more divine, the masters of all these, lords of the wide world and watery seas, endued with intellectual sense and souls of more preeminence than fish and fowls, are masters to their females and their lords, then let your wills attend on their accords. The servitude makes you keep unwed. Not this, but troubles of the marriage bed. But were you wedded, you would bear some sway. Ere I learn love, I'll practice to obey. How if your husband start there? Till he come again, I would patience unmoved, no marvel though she cause. They can make the habit cause. A wretched soul, bruised with adversity, we bid quiet when we hear cry. But were we burdened with weight, as much or more we make ourselves complain. So thou hast no one kind mate to grieve thee, with urging helpless patience wouldst relieve me. But if thou live to the right bereft, thou fool-begged patience in thee will be left. Well, I will marry one day, but to try, here comes your man, now your husband now.
Enter Dromio of Ephesus.
Say, is your tardy master now at hand?
Nay, he's at 2 hands with me, and that my 2 ears can witness.
Say, didst thou speak with him? Thou knowest his mind.
Aye, he told his mind upon mine ear. Beshrew his hand, I scarce could understand it.
Spoke he so dutifully, couldst thou now feel his meaning?
Nay, he struck so plainly, I could too well feel his blows, and withal so doubtfully that I could scarce understand them.
But say, I prithee, is he coming home? Seems to be hath great fare to please his wife.
Why, mistress, sure my master is horn mad.
Horn mad, thou villain.
I mean not cuckold mad, but sure he is stark mad. When I desired him to come home to dinner, he asked me for 1,000 marks in gold. "'Tis dinner time," quoth I. "My gold," quoth he. "Your meat doth burn," quoth I. "My gold," quoth he. "Will you come home?" quoth I. "My gold," quoth he. "Where is the 1,000 marks I gave thee, villain?" "The pig," quoth I, "is burned." "My gold," quoth he. "My mistress, sir," quoth I. "Hang up thy mistress, I know not thy mistress. Out on thy mistress."
Quoth his
Quoth my master, I know, quoth he, no house, no wife, no mistress. So that my errand due unto my tongue, I thanked him, bear home upon my shoulders, for, in conclusion, he did beat me there.
Go back again, thou slaves, and fetch him home.
Go back again, and be new beaten home. For God's sake, send some other messenger.
Back, slave, or I will break thy plate across.
And he will bless that cross with another beating. Between you I shall have a holy head.
Hence, parting peasant, fetch thy master home.
Am I so round with you as you with me, that like a football you do spurn me thus? You spurn me hence, and he will spurn me hither. If I last in this service, you must case me in leather. Dromio leaves.
Fie, how impatience lureth thou face. His company must do his minions grace, whilst I at home starve for a merry look, hath a homely age alluring of beauty took. From my poor cheek he hath wasted it. Are my discourses dull, barren my wit? If foul and sharp discourse be marred, unkindness blunts it more than marble hard. Do their gay vestments affection's bait? That's fault, he's master of my state. What ruins are in me that can be found by not him ruined? Then he is in the ground of my features, my decayed fair. A sunny look of his would soon repair, but too unruly dear he breaks the pale and feeds from home. Poor I am, but self-harming jealousy, fie, beat it hence. Unfeeling fools, with such wrongs dispense. I know his eye doth homage elsewhere, or else what let it be with here? Sister, you know promised me a chain. Would thou alone he retain, so he would keep fair quarter with his bed. I see the jewel best enamelled will lose his beauty, yet the gold hides still that others touch, and often touching will wear gold, and no man hath a name, by falsehood and corruption doth it shame. Since my beauty cannot please his eye, I'll weep what's left away, and weeping die. How many fond fools serve mad jealousy?
Exeunt. Scene 2, a public place, and enter Antipholus of Syracuse.
The gold I gave to Dromio is laid up safe at the centaur, and the heedful slave has wandered forth, in care to seek me out by computation and mine host report. I could not speak with Dromio, since at first I sent him from the mart. See, here he comes. How now? Sorry.
Enter Dromio of Syracuse.
How now, sir? Is your merry humour altered, as you love strokes? So jest with me again. You know no centaur, you received no gold, your mistress sent to have me home to dinner? My house was at the Phoenix, wast thou mad? That thus so madly thou didn't answer me.
What answer, sir, when I spake such a word?
Even now, even here, not half an hour since.
I did not see you since you sent me hence, home to the centaur, with the gold you gave me.
Villain! Thou didst deny the gold's receipt, and toldst me of a mistress and a dinner, for which I hope thou feltst I was displeased.
I am glad to see you in this merry vein. What means this jest? I pray you, master, tell me.
Yea, dost thou jeer and flout me in the teeth? Think'st thou I jest? Hold, take thou that, and that.
Hold, sir, for God's sake, now your jest is earnest. Upon what bargain do you give it me?
Because that I familiarly sometimes do use you for my fool and chat with you. Your sauciness will jest upon my love, and make a common of my serious hours. When the sun shines, let foolish gnats make sport, but creep in crannies when he hides his beams. If you will jest with me, know my aspect, and fashion your demeanour to my looks, or I will beat this method in your sconce.
Sconce, call you it? So you would leave me battering? I had rather have it in a head, and you use these blows long. I must get a sconce for my head, and ensconce it too, or else I shall seek my wit in my shoulders. But I pray, sir, why am I beaten?
Dost thou not know?
Nothing, sir, but that I am beaten.
Shall I tell you why?
Aye, sir, and wherefore? For they say every why hath it a wherefore.
Why, first for flouting me, and then wherefore for urging it the second time to me.
Was there ever any man thus beaten out of season, when in the why and the wherefore is neither rhyme nor reason? Well, sir, I thank you.
Thank me, sir, for what?
Marry, sir, for this something that you gave me for nothing.
I'll make you amends next to give you nothing for something. But say, sir, is it dinner time?
No, sir, I think the meat wants what I have.
In good time, sir. What's that?
Basting.
Well, sir, then 'twill be dry.
If it be, sir, I pray you, eat none of it.
Your reason?
Let it make you choleric and purchase me another dry basting.
Well, sir, learn to jest in good time. There's a time for all things.
I durst have denied that before you were so choleric.
By what rule, sir?
Marry, sir, by a rule as plain as the plain bald pate of Father Time himself.
Let's hear it.
There's no time for a man to recover his hair that grows bald by nature.
May he not do it by fine and recovery?
Yes, to pay a fine for a periwig and recover the lost hair of another man.
Why is time such a niggard of hair? Being as it is, it's so plentiful an excrement.
Because it is a blessing that he bestows on beasts, and what he hath scanted man in hair, he hath given them in wit.
Why, but there's many a man hath more hair than wit.
Not a man of those, but he hath the wit to lose his hair.
Why, thou didst conclude hairy men plain dealers without wit.
The plainer dealer the sooner lost, yet he loseth it in a kind of jollity.
For what reason?
For two and sound ones too.
Nay, not sound, I pray you.
Sure ones then.
Nay, not sure, in a false falsing.
Certain ones then?
Name them.
The one, to save the money that he spends in trimming, the other, that at dinner they should not drop in his porridge.
You would all this time have proved there is no time for all things.
Marry and did, sir, namely, no time to recover hair lost by nature.
But your reason was not substantial. Why is there no time to recover?
Thus I mend it. Time himself is bald, and therefore to the world's end will have bald followers.
I knew 'twould be bald conclusion. But soft! Who what's us yonder?
Enter Adriana and Luciana.
I, Antipholus, look strange and frowned. Some other mistress hath thy sweet aspects. I am not Adriana, nor thy. The time was once thou urged wouldst vow. Never words were music to thine ear, never object pleasing in thine eye, never touch well welcome thy hand, never meat sweet savoured in thy taste, unless I spoke, or looked, or touched, or carved to thee. How comes it now, my husband? Oh, how comes it that thou art thus estranged from myself? Thyself, I call it, being strange to me, that undividable, incorporate, and better than thy dear self's better part. I do not tear thyself away from me, for know thy love, and as easy mayest thou fall a drop of water in the baking cup, and take unmingled that same drop again without addition or diminishing, as take from me thyself and not me too. How dearly would it touch me to the quick, shouldst thou but hear I were listless, and that this body, concentrate to thee, by ruffian lust should be contaminate. Wouldst thou not spit at me and spurn at me and hurl name of husband in my face, and tear the stained skin off my harlot brow, and from my false hand cut the wedding ring, and break it deeper in deep divorcing vow? I know thou canst, and therefore thou do it. I am possessed with adulterate blot. My blood is mingled with the crime of lust. For if we two be one, and thou play false, I do digest poison of thy flesh, being strumpeted by thy contagion. Keep them far, Legue, and truce them thy true bed. I live unstained, thou.
Plead you to me, fair dame? I know you not. In Ephesus I am but 2 hours old, as strange unto your town as to your talk, who, every word by all my wit being scanned, want wit all in one word to understand.
Fie, brother, how the world is changed with you. When were you used my sister thus? She sent for you Dormio home to dinner.
By Dromio?
By me?
By thee, and this thou didst return from him, that he did buffet thee, and his blows denied my house for this, me for his wife.
Did you converse, sir, with this gentlewoman? What is the course and drift of your compact?
I, sir? I never saw her till this time.
Villain, thou liest, for even her very words didst thou deliver to me on the mart.
I never spake with her in all my life.
How can she thus then call us by our names unless it be by inspiration?
How it ill agrees it with your gravity to counterfeit thus grossly with your slave, abetting him to thwart me in my mood. Be it my wrong, you are far from me exempt, but wrong not that wrong with more contempt. Come, I will fasten on this sleeve of thine. Thou art elm, my husband, I of vine, whose weakness, married to thy stronger state, makes me with thy strength to communicate. If thee for me is droth, usurping ivy, briar, idle moth, who, all for want of puring with intrusion, infect thy sap and
To me she speaks, she moves me for her theme. What, was I married to her in my dream, or sleep I now and think I hear all this? What error drives our eyes and ears amiss? Until I know this sure uncertainty, I'll entertain the offered fallacy.
Dromio, go bid the servants spread for dinner.
Oh, for my beads, I cross me for a sinner. This is the fairyland, oh spite of spites! We talk with goblins, owls, and sprites. If we obey them not, this will ensue. They'll suck our breath or pinch us black and blue.
Why pratest thou to thyself and answerest? Dromio, thou drone, thou snail, thou soft.
I am transformed, master, am I not?
I think thou art in mind, and so am I.
Nay, master, both in mind and in my shape.
Thou hast thine own form.
No, I am an ape.
If thou art changed to aught, 'tis to an ass.
'Tis true, she rides me, and I long for grass. 'Tis so, I am an ass, else it could never be. But I should know her as well as she knows me.
Come, and no longer will I be a fool to put the finger in the eye and weep, lest man and master laugh my woe born. Come, sir, to dinner. Dromio, keep the gate. Husband, I'll dine above with you today, and try you 1,000 idle pranks. Sirrah, if any ask you for your master, say he dines forth, and let no creature enter. Come, sister, pay.
Am I in earth, in heaven, or hell? Sleeping or waking, mad or well advised, known unto these and to myself disguised, I'll say as they say and persevere so, and in the midst at all adventures go.
Master, shall I be porter at the gate?
Aye, and let none enter, lest I break your pace. Come, Antipholus, we dine too.
Exeunt. Act 3. Scene 1. Before the house of Antipholus of Ephesus. Enter Antipholus of Ephesus, Dromio of Ephesus, Angelo, and Balthazar.
Good Signor Angelo, you must excuse us all. My wife is shrewish when I keep not hours. Say that I lingered with you at your shop to see the making of her corsenet, and that tomorrow you will bring it home. But here's a villain that would face me down. He met me on the mart, and that I beat him, and charged him with 1,000 marks in gold, and that I did deny my wife and house. Thou drunkard, thou, what didst thou mean by this?
Say what you will, sir, but I know what I know, that you beat me at the mart. I have your hand to show. If the skin were parchment and the blows you gave me were ink, your own handwriting would tell you what I think.
I think thou art an ass.
Marry, so it doth appear, by the wrongs I suffer and the blows I bear. I should kick, being kicked, and being at that pass, you would keep from my heels and beware of an ass.
You're sad, Signor Balthazar. Pray God our cheer may answer my good will and your good welcome here.
I'll hold your dainties cheap, sir, and you're welcome, dear.
Oh, Signor Balthazar, either at flesh or fish, a table full of welcome makes scarce one dainty dish.
Good meat, sir, is common, that every churl affords.
And welcome more common, for that's nothing but words.
Small cheer and great welcome makes a merry feast.
To a host and more sparing guest, but though my cates be mean, and take them in good part, better cheer may you have, but not with better heart. But soft, my door's locked, go bid them let us in.
Maud, Bridget, Marion, Cecil, Gillian, Gin. Malthorse, Capon, Coxcomb, Idiot, Patch. Either get thee from the door, or sit down at the hatch. Dost thou conjure for wenches what thou call'st for such store? When one is too many, go, get thee from the door. What Patch is made our porter, my master stays in the street. Let him walk from whence he came, lest he catch cold on his feet.
Who talks within there? Ho! Open the door.
Right, sir, I'll tell you when, and you tell me wherefore.
Wherefore? For my dinner I have not dined today.
Nor today here you must not. Come again when you may.
What art thou that keepest me from the house I owe?
The porter for this time, sir, and my name is Dromio. O villain, thou hast stolen both mine office and my name. The one ne'er got me credit, the other mickle blame. If thou hast been Dromio today in my place, thou wouldst have changed thy face for a name or thy name for an ass.
What a coil is there, Dromio? Who are those at the gate?
Let my master in, Luce.
Faith, no, he comes too late. And so tell your master.
O Lord, I must laugh. Have at you with a proverb, shall I set in my staff?
Have at you within another, that when can you tell?
If thy name be called Luce, Luce thou hast answered him well.
Do you hear, you minion? Will you let us in, I hope?
I thought to have asked you.
And you said no. So come help, so come help, well struck, there was blow for blow.
Thou baggage, let me in.
Can you tell for whose sake?
Master, knock the door hard.
Let him knock till it ache.
You'll cry for this, minion, if I beat the door down.
What needs all that and a pair of stocks in the town?
Who is that at the door that keeps the noise?
By my troth, your town is troubled with unruly boys.
Are you there, wife? You might have come before.
Your wife, sir knave, go get you from the door.
If you went in pain, master, this knave would go sore.
Here is neither cheer, sword, nor welcome. We would fain have either. In debating which was best, we shall part with neither.
They stand at the door, master, bid them welcome hither.
There is something in the wind that we cannot get in.
You would say so, master, if your garments were thin. Your cake there is warm within. You stand here in the cold. It would make a man mad as a buck to be so bought and sold.
Go fetch me something. I'll break open the gate.
Break any breaking here, and I'll break your knave's pate. A man may break a word with you, sir, and words are but wind. Aye, and break it in your face, so he break it not behind. It seems thou wants breaking out upon behind. Here's too much out upon thee, I pray thee let me in. Aye, and when fowls have no feathers and fish have no fin.
Well, I'll break in. Go borrow me a crow.
A crow without feather, master, mean you so? For a fish without a fin, there's a fowl without a feather. If a crow help us in, sirrah, we'll pluck a crow together.
Go get thee gone, fetch me an iron crow.
Have patience, sir. Oh, let it not be so. Herein you are against your reputation, and draw within the compass of suspect the unviolated honor of your wife. Once this, your long experience of her wisdom, her sober virtue, years, and modesty. Plead on her part some cause to you unknown. And doubt not, sir, but she will well excuse why at this time the doors are made against you. Be ruled by me, depart in patience, and let us to the tiger all in dinner. And about evening come yourself alone, to know the reason of this strange restraint. If by strong hand offer you to break in, now in stirring passage of the day, a vulgar comment will be made of it, and that supposed by the common rout, against your yet ungalled estimation, that may with foul intrusion enter in, and dwell upon your grave when you are dead. For slander lives upon succession, and for ever house where it gets possession.
You have prevailed. I will depart in quiet, and, in despite of mirth, mean to be merry. I know a wench of excellent discourse, pretty and witty, wild, and yet too gentle. There we will dine, this woman that I mean, My wife, but, I protest, without desert, hath oftentimes upbraided me withal. To her will we go to dinner? Get you home and fetch the chain. By this I know 'tis made. Bring it, I pray you, to the Porpentine. For there's the house. That chain will I bestow, be it for nothing but to spite my wife. Upon mine hostesses there, good sir, make haste. Since mine own doors refuse to entertain me, I'll knock elsewhere to see if they'll disdain me.
I'll meet you at the place some hour hence.
Do so. This jest shall cost me some expense.
Exeunt. Scene 2, the same. So everybody is still standing outside Antipholus' house. Enter Luciana and Antipholus of Syracuse.
And may it be that you have quite forgot a husband's office? I shall, Antipholus, even in the spring of love, love springs rot, shall love in building grow so ruinous. If you did wed my sister for her wealth, then for her wealth's sake use her with more kindness. Or if, like elsewhere, do it by stealth, muffle your false love with some shadow of blindness. Let not my sister read it in your eye. Be not thy tongue thy own shame's orator. Look, sweet, be fair, become disloyalty, apparel vice like virtue's harbinger. Be a fair presence, though thy heart be tainted. Teach sin in the carriage of a holy saint. Be secret false, what needs she be acquainted? With simple brief brags his own attaint. 'Tis double wrong to traunt with your bed, and let her read it by thy books at board. Shame hath a bastard fame, well managed, ill deeds are doubled with an evil word. Alas, poor woman, make us but believe, being compact of credit, that you show that you love us. Through others have arm, show us the sleeve. We in your motion turn, and you may move. Then, gentle brother, get you in again. Comfort my sister, cheer her, call her wife. 'Tis holy sport to be a little vain. Then the sweet breath of flattery conquers strife.
Sweet mistress, what your name is else I know not, nor by what wonder you do hid of mine. Less in your knowledge and your grace you show not than your earth's wonder. More than earth divine, teach me, dear creature, how to think and speak. Lay open to my earthy gross conceit. Smothered in errors, feeble, shallow, weak, the folded meaning of your words deceit. Against my soul's pure truth, why labour you to make it wander in an unknown field? Are you a god? Would you create me new? Transform me then, and to your power I'll yield. But if that I am, then well I know, your weeping sister is no wife of mine, nor to her bed no homage do I owe. Far more to you I do decline. Oh, train me not, sweet mermaid, with thy note to drown me in thy sister's flood of tears. Sing, siren, for thyself, and I will dote. Spread over the silver waves thy golden hairs, and as a bed I'll take them, and there lie. And in that glorious supposition think, he gains by death that have such means to die. Let love, being light, be drowned if she sink.
What? Are you mad that you do reason?
Not mad, but mated. How, I do not know.
It is a fault that springeth from your eye.
For gazing on your beams, fair sun being by.
Gaze where you should, and that will clear your sight.
As good to wink, sweet love, as look on night.
Why do you call me love? Call my sister so.
Thy sister's sister.
That's my sister.
No, it is thyself, mine own self's better part, mine eyes clear eye, my dear heart's dearer heart, my food, my fortune, and my sweet hope's aim, my soul, earth's heaven, and my heaven's claim.
All this my sister is, or else should be.
Call thyself sister, sweet, for I am thee. Thee will I love, and with thee lead my life. Thou hast no husband yet, nor I no wife. Give me thy hand.
Oh, soft air, hold you still. I'll fetch my sister, to get her goodwill.
Luciana exits and enter Dromio of Syracuse.
Why, how now, Dromio, where runst thou so fast?
Do you know me, sir? Am I Dromio? Am I your man? Am I myself?
Thou art Dromio, thou art my man, thou art thyself.
I am an ass, I am a woman's man, and beside myself.
What woman's man, and how besides thyself, besides thyself?
Marry, sir, besides myself, I am due to a woman, one that claims me, one that haunts me, one that will have me.
What claim lays she to thee?
Marry, sir, such a claim as you would lay to your horse, and she would have me as a beast. Not that, I being a beast, she would have me, but that she, being a very beastly creature, lays claim to me.
What is she?
A very reverend body, I, such a one as a man may not speak of without he say, Sir Reverence. I have been lean luck in my match, and yet she is a wondrous fat marriage.
How dost thou mean a fat marriage?
Marry, sir, she is the kitchen wench, and all grease, and I know not what use to put her to, but to make a lamp of her, and run from her by my own light. I warrant her rags and her tallow, and the tallow in them will burn a Poland winter, if she lives till doomsday. She'll burn a week longer than the whole world.
What complexion is she of?
Swart, like my shoe, but her face nothing half so clean kept, for why she sweats, a man may go over shoes in the grime of it.
That's a fault that water will mend.
No, sir, 'tis in the grain. Noah's flood could not do it.
What's her name?
Nell, sir, but her name and 3/4, that's an L and 3/4 will not measure her from hip to hip.
Then she bears some breadth.
No longer from head to foot than from hip to hip. She is spherical, like a globe. I could find out countries in her.
In what part of her body stands Ireland?
Mary and her buttocks, I found it out by the bogs.
Where's Scotland?
I found it by the Baroness, hard, in the palm of the hand.
Where's France?
In her forehead, armed and reverted, making war against her heir.
Where's England?
I looked for the chalky cliffs, but I could find no whiteness in them, but I guess it stood in her chin, by the salt realm that ran between France and it.
Where's Spain?
Faith, I saw it not, but I felt it hot in her breath.
Where America? The Indies?
Oh, sir, upon her nose, all o'er embellished with rubies, carbuncles, sapphires, declining their rich aspect to the hot breath of Spain, who sent whole armados of crarics to be ballast at her nose.
Where stood Belgia, the Netherlands?
Oh, sir, I did not look so low. To conclude this drudge or diviner laid claim to me, called me Dromio, swore I was assured to her, told me what privy marks I had about me, as the mark of my shoulder, the mole in my neck, the great wart on my left arm that I amazed ran from her as a witch, and I think if my breast had not been made of faith and my heart of steel, she had transformed me to a curtailed dog and made me turn a wheel.
Go heed thee presently, post to the road, and if the wind blow any way from shore, I will not harbour in this town tonight. If any bark put forth, come to the mart, where I will walk till thou return to me. If everyone knows us, and we know none, 'tis time, I think, to trudge, pack, and be gone.
As from a bear a man would run for life, so fly I from her that would be my wife.
There's
Exits
none but
Dromio.
There's none but witches do inhabit here, and therefore 'tis high time that I were hence she that doth call me husband. Even my soul doth for a wife abhor, but her fair sister, possessed with such a gentle sovereign grace, of such enchanting presence and discourse, hath almost made me traitor to myself. But lest myself be guilty for self-wrong, I'll stop mine ears against the mermaid's song.
Enter Angelo with the chain.
Master Antipholus.
Aye, that's my name.
I know it well, sir. Lo, here's the chain. I thought to attain you at the Porpentine. The chain unfinished made me stay this long.
What is your will that I shall do with this?
What please yourself, sir. I have made it for you.
Made it for me, sir? I bespoke it not.
Not once, nor twice, but 20 times you have. Go home with it and please your wife withal. And soon at supper time I'll visit you, and then receive money for the chain.
I pray you, sir, receive the money now, for fear you never see chain nor money more.
You are a merry man, sir. Fare you well.
Angelo leaves.
What I should think of this I cannot tell, but this I think. There's no man is so vain that would refuse so fair an offered chain. I see a man here needs not live by shifts, when in the streets he meets such golden gifts. I'll to the mart, and there for Dromio stay. If any ship put out, then straight away.
Antipholus leaves. Exit. Act 4, Scene 1. A public place. Enter second merchant, Angelo, and an officer.
You know, since the Pentecost summer's due, and since I have not much opportuned you, nor now had I not, but that I am bound to Persia and the guilders for my voyage, therefore make present satisfaction, or I'll attach you as this officer.
Even just the sum that I do owe to you is growing to me by Antipholus, and in the instant that I met with you, he had me a chain. At 5 o'clock I shall receive the money for the same. Please if you walk me down to his house, I will discharge my bond and thank you too.
Enter Antipholus of Ephesus and Dromio of Ephesus from the courtesans.
That labourer may save you, see where he comes.
While I go to that goldsmith's house, go thou and buy a rope's end that I will bestow among my wife and her confederates, for locking me out of my doors by day. But, soft, I see the goldsmith. Get thee gone. Buy thou a rope and bring it home to me.
I buy £1,000 a year. I buy a rope.
A man
Dromio
is
leaves.
A man is well hope up that trusts to you. I promised your presence and the chain, but neither chain nor goldsmith came to me. Be like your thought or love would last too long if it were chained together and therefore came not.
Saving your merry humour, here's the note. How much your chain weighs to the utmost carat, the fineness of the gold and chargeful fashion, which doth amount to 3 ducats more, than I stand debted to this gentleman. I pray you see him presently discharged, for he is bound to sea and stays but for it.
I am not furnished with the present money. Besides, I have some business in the town, good signor. Take the stranger to my house, and with you take the chain, and bid my wife disperse the sum on the receipt thereof. Perchance I will be there as soon as you.
Then you will bring the chain to her yourself?
No, bear it with you, lest I not come time enough.
Well, sir, I will. Have you the chain about you?
And if I have not, sir, I hope you have, or else you may return without your money.
Nay, come, I pray you, sir, give me the chain. Both wind and tide stays for this gentleman, and I, to blame, have held him here too long.
Good Lord, you use this dalliance to excuse your breach of promise to the Porpentine? I should have chid you for not bringing it, but, like a shrew, you first began to bawl.
The hour stells on. I pray you, sir, dispatch.
You hear how important he importunes me. The chain!
Why, give it to my wife and fetch your money.
Come, come, you know I gave it to you even now. Either send the chain, or send me by some token.
Fee, now you run this humour out of breath. Where's the chain? I pray you, let me see it.
My business cannot brook this dalliance. Good sir, say whether you'll answer me or no. If not, I'll leave him to the officer.
I answer you. What should I answer you?
The money that you owe me for the chain.
I owe you none till I receive the chain.
You know I gave it to you half an hour since.
You gave me none. You wrong me much to say so.
You wrong me more, sir, in denying it. Consider how it stands upon my credit.
Well, officer, arrest him at my suit. I do, and charge you in the Duke's name to obey me.
This touches me in reputation. Either consent to pay the sum for me, or I attach you by this officer.
Consent to pay thee that I never had. Arrest me, foolish fellow, if thou darest.
Here is thy fee. Arrest him, officer, and I would not spare my brother in this case, if he should scorn me so apparently.
I do arrest you, sir. You hear the suit.
I do obey thee till I give thee bail, but, sirrah, you shall buy this sport as dear as all the metal in your shop will answer.
Sir, sir, I will have law in Ephesus, to your notorious shame. I doubt it not.
Enter Dromio of Syracuse from the bay. Master, there is a bark of Epidemium that stays but till her owner comes aboard, and then, sir, she bears away. Our frigate, sir, I have conveyed aboard, and I have bought the oil, the balsam, the aquavitae. The ship is in her trim, the merry wind blows fair from land. They stay for naught at all, but for their owner, master, and yourself.
How now? A madman? Why, thou peevish sheep? What ship of Epidemon stays with me?
The ship you sent me to hire, waftage.
Thou drunken slave, I sent thee for a rope, and told thee to what purpose and what end.
You sent me for a rope's end as soon. You sent me to the bay, sir, for a bark.
I will debate this matter at more leisure, and teach your ears to list to me with more heed. To Adriana, villain, hie thee straight, give her this key, and tell her in the desk that's covered over with Turkish tapestry, there is a purse of ducats. Let her send it, tell her I am arrested in the street, and that shall bail me. Hie thee, slave, be gone on, officer, to prison till it come.
Exit second merchant, Angelo, officer, and Antipholus of Ephesus. They go off to jail. To Adriana, that is where we dined, where Dwaspel did claim me for her husband. She is too big, I hope, for me to compass. Thither I must, although against my will, for servants must their masters' minds fulfill. Dromio exits. Scene 2. The house of Antipholus of Ephesus. Enter Adriana and Luciana.
Ah, Luciana, did he tempt me so? Mightst thou perceive assuredly in his eye that he did plead in earnest? Yea or no? Looked he red or pale, sad or merrily? What observation madest thou in this case of his heart's meteors tilting in his face? First he denied you had him. He meant he did mean more in my spite. Then swore that he was a stranger, and true he swore, for yet forsworn we were. Then pleaded I for you, and what said he? That love I begged for you, he begged of me. And what persuasion did he tempt thy love? With words in an honest suit might move. First he did praise my beauty, then my speech. Didst speak him fair? I have patience, I beseech. I cannot, nor I will not hold me still. My tongue through my heart shall have his will. He is deformed, crooked, old, sear, ill-faced, worse-bodied, shapeless everywhere, vicious, ungentle, foolish, blunt, unkind, stigmatable, and worse in mind. Who should be jealous then of such of a one? No evil is lost, is wailed when is gone. Ah, but then I think him better, I say, and yet would herein others' eyes be worse. Far from her nest, the lopling lies away. My heart prays for him, though my tongue do curse.
Enter Dromio of Syracuse. Here, go, the desk, the purse. Sweet now, make haste.
How hast thou lost thy breath?
By running fast.
Where is thy master, Dromio? Is he well?
No, he's in Tartar limbo, worse than hell. A devil in an everlasting garment hath him, one whose hard heart is buttoned up with steel, a fiend, a fury, pitiless and rough, a wolf, nay worse, a fellow all in buff, a black fiend, a shoulder clapper, one that countermands the passage of alleys, creeks, and narrow lands, a hound that runs counter, and yet draws dry foot well, one that before the judgment carries poor souls to hell.
Why, man, what is the matter?
I do not know the matter. He is rested on the case.
What, is he arrested? Tell me at whose suit.
I know not whose suit he is arrested well, but he is in a suit of buff which rested him that I can tell. Will you send him, mistress, redemption, the money in his desk?
Go fetch it, sister. This I wonder at, that he, unknown to me, should be in debt. Tell me, was he arrested on a bed?
Not on a band, but on a stronger thing. A chain, a chain. Do you not hear it ring?
What, the chain?
No, the bell. 'Tis time that I were gone. It was 2 ere I left him, and now the clock strikes 1.
The hours come back. That I did not.
Oh yes, if any hour meet a sergeant, it turns back very fear.
As if time were in debt. How fondly.
Time is a very bankrupt, and owes more than he's worth to season. Nay, he's a thief, too. Have you not heard men say that time comes stealing on by night and day? If time be in debt and theft, and a sergeant in the way, hath he not reason to turn back an hour in a day?
Go, Dromio. There's the money. Bear it straight. Sorry, I totally lost my place in the script.
Did you find it? Re-enter
Sorry.
Luciana with
Right. Come, sister, I am pressed down with conceit. Conceit, my comfort and my injury.
Excellent. Scene 3, a public place. We were like so close to the end of the scene. There's almost like, do we just like jump? It's like 2 lines. Scene 3, a public place. Enter Antipholus of Syracuse.
There's not a man I meet but doth salute me as if I were their well-acquainted friend, and every one doth call me by my name. Some tender money to me, some invite me, some others give me thanks for kindnesses. Some offer me commodities to buy. Even now, a tailor called me in his shop and showed me silks that he had bought for me, and therewithal took measure of my body. Sure, These are but imaginary wells, and Lapland sorcerers inhabit here.
Enter Dromio of Syracuse. Master, here's the gold you sent me for. What, have you got a picture of old Adam new apparelled?
What gold is this? What Adam dost thou mean?
Not that Adam that kept the paradise, but that Adam that keeps the prison. He that goes in the calf's skin that was killed for the prodigal. He that came behind you, sir, like an evil angel, and bid you forsake your liberty.
I understand thee not.
No, why, 'tis a plain case. He that went, like a bass viol, in a case of leather, that the man, sir, that, when gentlemen are tired, gives them a sob and rests them. He, sir, that takes pity on decayed men and gives them suits of durance. He that sets up his rest to do more exploits with his mace than a Morris pike.
What? Thou meanest an officer?
Aye, sir, the sergeant of the band. He that brings any man to answer, if that breaks his band. One that thinks a man always going to bed and says, God, give you good rest.
Well, sir, there rest in your foolery. Is there any...
Why, sir, I brought you word an hour since that the bark expedition put forth tonight, and then you were hindered by the sergeant to tarry for the hoy delay. Here are the angels that you sent for to deliver you.
The fellow is distracted, and so am I, and here we wander in illusions. Some blessed power deliver us from hence.
Enter a courtesan.
Well met, Master Antipholus. I see, sir, you have found the goldsmith now. Is that the chain you promised me today?
Satan, avoid, I charge thee, tempt me not.
Master, is this Mistress Satan?
It is the devil.
Nay, she is worse. She is the devil's dam, and here she comes in the habit of a light wench, and thereof comes the wenches say, God damn me. That is much to say, God make me a light wench. It is written they appear to men like angels of light. Light is an effect of fire, and fire will burn. Ergo light wenches will burn. Come not near her.
You are man, and you are marvellous, merry sir. Will you go with me? We'll mend our dinner here.
Master, if you do, expect spoon meat or bespeak a long spoon.
Why, Dromio?
Marry, he must have a long spoon that must eat with the devil.
Avoid then, fiend. What tell'st thou me of supping? Thou art, as you are all, a sorceress. I conjure thee to leave me and be gone.
Give me the ring of mine you had at dinner, or, for my diamond, the chain you promised me, and I'll be gone, sir, and not trouble you.
Some devils ask but the paring of one's nail, a rush, a hair, a drop of blood, a pin, a nut, a cherry stone. But she, more covetous, would have a chain. Master, be wise, and if you give it her, the devil will shake her chain and fright us with it.
I pray you, sir, my ring, or else the chain. I hope you do not mean to cheat me so.
Avaunt, thou witch. Come, Dromio, let us go.
Fly pride, says the peacock, mistress that you know. Exeunt Antipholus and Dromio.
Now, out of doubt, Antipholus is mad, else would he never so demean himself. A ring he hath of mine worth 40 ducats, and for the same he promised me a chain. Both one and other he denies me now. The reason that I gather he is mad, besides this present instance of his rage, is a mad tale he told me today at dinner, of his own doors being shut against his entrance. Belike his wife, acquainted with his fits, on purpose shut the doors against his way. My way is now to hie home his house, and tell his wife that, being a lunatic, he'd rush into my house and took, perforce, my ring away. The course I fittest choose, for 40 ducats is too much to lose.
Exit. Scene 4, a street. Enter Antipholus of Ephesus and the officer.
Fear me not, man, I will not break away. I'll give thee, ere I leave thee, so much money, to warrant thee, as I am rested for. My wife is in a wayward mood today, and will not lightly trust the messenger that I should be attached in Ephesus. I tell you, 'twill sound harshly in her ears.
Enter Dromio of Ephesus with a rope's end.
Here comes my man. I think he brings the money. How now, sir? Have you that I sent you for?
Here's that I warrant you will pay them all.
But where's the money?
Why, sir, I gave the money for the rope.
500 ducats? Villain? For a rope?
I'll serve you, sir, 500 at that rate.
To what end did I bid thee hide thee home?
To a rope's end, sir, and to that end I am returned.
And to that end, sir, I welcome you.
Begins
Good
beating him.
sir, good sir, be patient.
Nay, 'tis for me to be patient. I am in adversity.
Good, now hold thy tongue.
Nay, rather persuade him to hold his hands.
Thou whoreson, senseless villain!
I would I were senseless, sir, that I might not feel your blows.
Thou art sensible in nothing but blows, and so is an ass!
I am an ass, indeed. You may prove it by my long ears. I have served him from the hour of my naivety to this instant, and have nothing at his hands for my service but blows. When I am cold, he heats me with beating. When I am warm, he cools me with beating. I am waked with it when I sleep, raised with it when I sit, driven out of doors with it when I go from home, welcomed home with it when I return. Nay, I bear it on my shoulders as a beggar wanter brat, and I think when he hath lamed me, I shall beg with it from door to door.
Come, go along, my wife is coming yonder.
Enter Adriana Luciana, the courtesan, and Pinch. Mistress, respice finum, respect your end, or rather the prophecy like a parrot, beware the rope's end.
Wilt thou still talk?
More beating.
How say you now? Is not your husband mad?
His incivility conforms no less. Good Dr. Pinch, you are a conjurer. Establish him in his true sense again, and I will please you what you will demand. Alas, how fiery and sharp he looks.
Mark how he trembles in his ecstasy. Give me your hand, and let me feel your pulse.
There is my hand, and let it feel your ear!
I charge thee, Satan, housed within this man, to yield possessions to my holy prayers, and to thy state of darkness. Hie thee straight, I conjure thee all by the saints in heaven.
Peace, doting wizard, peace, I am not mad!
Oh, that thou were not, poor distressed soul.
You, minion, you, are these your customers? Did this companion with the saffron face revel and feast it at my house today, whilst upon me the guilty doors were shut, and I denied to enter in my house?
Oh, husband, God doth know you dined at home. Where would you have remained until this time, free from these slanders and open shame?
Dined at home, thou villain! What sayest thou?
Sir, sooth to say, you did not dine at home.
Were not my doors locked up and I shut out?
Pardy, your doors were locked and you shut out.
And did she not herself revile me there?
Sans fable, she herself reviled you there.
Did not her kitchen maid rail, taunt, and scorn me?
Certes she did, the kitchen vassal scorned you.
And did not I rage and depart from thence?
In verity you did, my bones bear witness, that since have felt the vigour of his rage.
Is't good to soothe him in these contraries?
It is no shame, the fellow finds his vein, and yielding to humours well his frenzy.
Thou hast suborned the goldsmith to arrest me.
Alas, I sent you money to redeem you, by Dromio here, who came in haste for it.
By me, heart and good will you might, but surely, master, not a rag of money.
Went'st not thou to her for a purse of ducats?
He came to me, and I delivered it. And I am witness that with her she did.
God and the rope maker bear me witness that I was sent for nothing but a rope.
Mistress, both man and master is possessed. I know it by their pale and deadly looks. They must be bound and laid in some dark room.
Say, wherefore didst thou lock me forth today, and why dost thou deny the bag of gold?
I did not, gentle husband, lock thee.
And gentle master, I received no gold, but I confess, sir, that we were locked out.
Dissembling villain, thou speakest false in both.
Dissembling harlot, thou art false in all, and art confederate with the damned pack to make a loathsome object scorn me. But with these nails I'll pluck out these false eyes that would behold me in this shameful sport.
Enter 3 or 4 and offer to bind him. He strives.
Oh, bind him, let him not come near me.
More company, the fiend is strong with him.
Ay me, poor man, how pale and wan he looks.
What, will you murder me, thou Gowler? Thou, I am thy prisoner. Will thou suffer them to make a rescue?
Master, let him go. He is my prisoner, and you shall not have him. Go bind this man, for he is too frantic to...
They offer to bind Dromio.
What wilt thou do, thou peevish officer? Hast thou delight to see a wretched man do outrage and displeasure to himself?
He is my prisoner. If I let him go, the debt he owes me will be required of me.
I will discharge thee the heir if I go from thee. Bear me forthwith, undo his creditor, and, knowing how debt grows, I will pay it. Good master doctor, see him safe conveyed home to my house. Oh, most unhappy day.
Oh, most unhappy strumpet.
Master, I am here entered in bond for you.
Out on thee, villain! Wherefore dost thou mad me?
Will you be bound for nothing? Be mad, good master. Cry, the devil!
God help poor souls, how idly do they talk. Go bear him hence. Sister, go you with me.
Exeunt all but Adriana Luciana, officer and courtesan.
Say now, whose suit is he arrested at?
One Angelo, a goldsmith. Do you know him?
I know the man. What is the sum he owes?
200 ducats.
Say, how grows it due?
Due for a chain your husband had of him.
He did bespeak a chain for me, but had it not.
When your husband, all enraged today, came to my house and took away my ring, the ring I saw upon his finger now, straight after did I meet him with a chain.
It may be so, but I did never see it. Come, jailer, bring me where the gold is. I long to know the truth hereof at large.
Enter Antipholus of Syracuse with his rapier drawn and Dromio of Syracuse.
God, for thy mercy, they are loose again, and come with naked swords. Let's call more help and have them bound again.
Away, they'll kill us.
Exeunt all but Antipholus of Syracuse and Dromio of Syracuse.
I see these witches are afraid of swords.
Sir, that would be your wife now ran from you.
Come to the centaur, fetch our stuff from thence. I long that we were safe and sound aboard.
Faith, stay here this night. That will surely do us no harm. You saw they speak us fair, give us gold. Methinks they are such a gentle nation that, but for the mountains of mad flesh that claims marriage of me, I could find in my heart to stay here still and turn witch.
I will not stay tonight for all the town. Therefore, go away to get our stuff aboard.
Exeunt. Act 5. Scene 1, a street before a priory. Enter second merchant and Angelo.
I'm sorry, sir, that I have hindered you, but I protest he had the chain of me, though most dishonestly he doth deny it.
How is this man esteemed here in this city?
Of very varied reputation, sir, of credit infinite, highly beloved, second to none that lives here in the city. His word might bear my wealth at any time.
Speak softly, yonder, as I think he walks.
Enter Antipholus of Syracuse and Dromio of Syracuse.
'Tis so, and that self-chain about his neck, for which he forswear most monstrously to have. Good sir, draw near to me, I'll speak to him. Signor Antipholus, I wonder much that you would put me to this shame and trouble, and not without some scandal to yourself, where circumstance and oaths to so deny, this chain which now you wear so openly. Beside the charge, the shame, imprisonment, you have done wrong to this my honest friend, who, but for sane on a controversy, had hoisted sail and put to sea today. This chain you had of me, can you deny it?
I think I had. I never did deny it.
Yes, that you did, sir, and forswore to it.
Who heard me to deny it or forswear it?
These ears of mine, thou know'st, did hear thee. Fie on thee, wretch! 'Tis pity that thou hast livest to walk where an honest man resort.
Thou art a villain to impeach me thus. I'll prove mine honour and my honesty against thee presently, if thou darest stand.
I dare, and I do defy thee for a villain.
They draw. Enter Adriana Luciana the courtesan and others.
Hold, hurt him not. For God's sake, he is mad. Get within him, take his sword away. Bind Dromio too, and bear them to my house.
Run, master, run, for God's sake, take a house. This is some priory, inn, or we are spoiled. Exeunt, Antithesis of Syracuse and Dromio of Syracuse to the priory. Enter Lady Abbess Amelia.
Be quiet, people. Where throng you hither?
To fetch thy poor distracted husband hence. Let us come in that we may bind him fast and bear him home for.
I knew he was not his perfect wits.
I am sorry now that I did draw on him. How hath this possession held the man?
This week he hath been heavy, sour, sad, and much, but till this afternoon his passion ne'er broke into extremity of rage.
Hath he lost the wealth by wreck of sea, buried some dear friend, hath not else in his eye, strayed his affection in unlawful love, a sin prevailing much in youthful men, who give their eyes the liberty of gazing, which of these sorrow is he subject to?
To none of these, except it be the last, namely some love that drew him oft from.
You should for that have reprehended him.
Why, so I did.
Aye, but that's not rough enough.
As roughly as my modesty would let me.
Happily in private.
And in assemblies, too.
Aye, but not enough.
It was the copy of our conference. In the bed he slept, not my urging it. At board he fed, not my urging it. Alone, it was subject of my fear. In company I often glanced at it. Still, did I tell him it was vile and bad?
And therefore came it that the man was mad. The venom clamours of a jealous woman, poison more deadly than mad dog's tooth. It seems his sleeps were hindered by thy railing, and therefore comes it that his head is light. Thou sayest his meat was sauced with thy upbraidings. Unquiet meat makes ill digestions, therefore the raging fire of fever bred. And what's a fever but a fire of madness? Thou sayest his sport were hindered by thy brawls, sweet recreations barred with doth ensue, but moody and dull melancholy, kinsmen to grim and comfortless despair at their heels, a huge infectious troop of pale distemperatures and foes to life, in food, in sport, and life-preserving rest to be disturbed, would mad of a man or beast. The consequences, then, thy jealous fits have scared thy husband from the use of wits.
She never reprehended him but mildly, when he himself rough, rude, and wildly. Why bear these rebukes and answer not? She did betray me to my own reproof. Good people enter and lay hold on him.
No, not a creature enters my house.
Then let your servants bring my husband forth.
Neither. He took his place for sanctuary. It is shall privilege him from your hands till I have brought him to his wits again, or lose my labour in assaying it.
I will attend my husband, be his nurse, diet his sickness, for it is my office, and I will have no attorney but myself, and therefore let him have home with me.
Be patient, for I will not let him stir till I have used the approved means I have, with wholesome syrups, drugs, and holy prayers, to make him a formal man again. It is a branch and parcel of my oath, a charitable duty of my order. Therefore, depart, and leave him here with me.
I will not hence leave my husband here, and ill do it both but beseem your holiness, and separate the husband and the wife.
Be quiet, and depart. Thou shalt not have him.
Amelia leaves.
Complain unto the Duke of his indignity. Come, go. I will fall prostrate at his feet, and never rise until my tears and prayers have won his grace to come in person hither, and take performance my husband from the abbess.
By this, I think the dial points at 5, Anon. I'm sure the Duke here himself, in person, comes this way with melancholy veil, the place of death, sorry execution, behind the ditches of the abbey here.
Upon what cause?
To see Reverend Sacrugian merchant, who put unluckily into this bay against the laws and statutes of this town, beheaded publicly for his offence.
See where they come. We will behold his death.
Kneel to the Duke before he passes the abbey.
Enter Duke Solinus, attended, Aegon bareheaded with handsmaids and a bunch of other people.
Yet once again proclaim it publicly. If any friend will pay the sum for him, he shall not die. So much we tender him.
Justice, most sacred duke, against the abbess.
She is a virtuous and revered lady. It cannot be that she hath done thee wrong.
May it please your grace, Antipholus, my husband, I made lord of me and all I had. At your most important letters, this ill day a most outrageous fit of madness took him, that desperately he hurt him his bondman, mad as he, doing displeasure to the citizens, by rushing in their houses, bearing thence rings, jewels, anything but rage did like. Once I get him bound and sent him, whilst to take order for the wrongs I rent, that here and there his fury has committed. Anon I watch not by strong he from those that had guard of him, and with his mad attendant and himself, each one with ireful passion, with drawn swords, meet us again and madly bent on, chased us away, till, raising of more aid, we came again to bind them. Then they fled into this abbey, whither we pursued them, and here the abbess shuts the gates, and will not suffer us to fetch him out, nor send him forth, that we may bear him hence. Therefore, most gracious Duke, with thy command, let him be brought forth, and borne hence for help.
Long since thy husband served me in my wars, and I to thee engaged a prince's word, when thou did make him master of thy bed. To him all grace and good I could. Go, some of you, knock at the abbey gate, and bid the lady abbess come to me. I will determine this before I stir.
Enter a servant.
Oh, mistress, shift and save yourself. My master and his man are both broke loose, beaten the maids a row, and bound the doctor, whose beard they have singed off with brands of fire, and ever as it blazed they threw him great pails of puddled mire to quench the hair. My master preaches patience to him, the while his man with scissors nicks him like a fool, and sure, unless you send some present help between them, they will kill the conjurer.
Peace, fool. Thy master and his man are here, and that is false thou dost report to us.
Mistress, upon my life I tell you the truth. I have not breathed almost since I did see you. He cries for you and vows if he can take you to scorch your face and disfigure you. Hark! Hark, hark, I hear him, mistress, fly, be gone.
Come, stand by me, fear nothing. Guard with halberds.
Ay, me, it is my husband. Witness you, that he is born about invisible, and even now we housed him in the abbey here, and now that he's there, past thought of human reason.
Enter Antipholus of Ephesus and Dromio of Ephesus.
Justice, most gracious Duke. Oh, grant me justice, even for the service that long since I did thee, when I bestrid thee in the wars and took deep scars to save thy life, even for the blood that then I lost for thee. Now grant me justice.
Unless the fear of death doth make me dote, I see my son Antipholus and Dromio.
Justice, sweet prince, against that woman there, she whom thou gavest to me to be my wife, that hath abused and dishonoured me, even in the strength and height of injury. Beyond imagination is the wrong that she this day hath shameless thrown on me.
Discover how, and thou shalt find me just.
This day, great Duke, she shut the doors upon me, while she with harlots feasted in my house.
A grievous fault. Say, woman, didst thou so?
No, my good lord. Myself, he and my sister, today did dine together. So befall my soul, and as this false burdens me withal. Ne'er may I look on your day, nor sleep on night, but she tells to your highness the simple truth.
O perjured woman, they are both forsworn, and this the madman justly chargeth them.
My liege, I am advised what I say, neither disturbed with the effect of wine, nor heady rash, provoked with raging ire. Albeit my wrongs might make one miser mad, this woman locked me out this day from dinner. That goldsmith there, were he not packed with her, could witness it, for he was with me then, who parted with me to go fetch a chain, promising to bring it to Porpentine, where Balthazar and I did dine together, our dinner done, and he coming thither. I went to seek him. In the street I met him, and in his company that gentleman. There did this perjured goldsmith swear me down, that I this day of him received the chain, which God he knows I saw not, for the which he did arrest me with an officer. I did obey, and sent my peasant home for certain ducats. He with none returned. Then fairly I bespoke the officer to go in person with me to my house. By the way we met my wife, her sister, and a rabble more of vile confederates. Along with them they brought one Pinch, a hungry, lean-faced villain, a mere anatomy, a mountebank, a threadbare juggler, and a fortune-teller, a needy, hollow-eyed, sharp-looking wretch, a dead-looking man, this pernicious slave, forsooth took him on as a conjurer, and gazing in mine eyes, feeling my pulse, and with no faces, twere outfacing me, cries out, I was possessed. Then altogether they fell upon me, bound me, bore me, thence, and in a dark and dankish vault home, there left me and my man both bound together, till gnawing with my teeth my bonds in sunder, I gained my freedom, and immediately ran hither to your grace, whom I beseech to give me ample satisfaction for these deep shames and great indignities.
My lord, in truth, thus far I witness with him, that he dined not at home, but was locked out. But had he such a chain of thee or no? He had, my lord, and when he ran in here, these people saw the chain about his neck.
Besides, I will be sworn these ears of mine heard you confess you had the chain of him, after you first forswore it on your mart, and thereupon I drew my sword on you, and then you fled into the abbey here, from whence I think you are come by miracle.
I never came within these abbey walls, nor ever didst thou draw my sword on me. I never saw the chain, so help me heaven, and this is false you burden me withal.
Why, what an intricate impeach this is! I think you all have drunk of Circe's cup. If here you housed him, here he would have been. If he were mad, he would not plead so coldly. You say he dined at home? The goldsmith here denies that same. Sirrah, what say you?
Sir, he dined with her there, at the Porpentine.
He did, and from my finger snatched that ring.
'Tis true, my liege, this ring I had of her.
Saw'st thou enter him at the abbey here?
As sure, my liege, as I do see your grace.
Why, this is strange. Go call the abbess hither. I think you all are mated or stark mad.
Exit 1 to abbess.
Most mighty duke, vouchsafe me speak a word. Haply I see a friend will save my life, and pay the sum that may deliver me. Speak freely, Syracusian, what thou wilt. Is not your name, sir, called Antipholus? And is not that your bondman, Dromio?
Within this hour I was his bondman, sir, but he, I thank him, gnawed into my cords. Now am I Dromio, and his man unbound.
I am sure both of you remember me.
Ourselves we do remember, sir, by you, for lately we were bound as you are now. You are not Pinch's patient, are you, sir?
Why look you strange on me? You know me well.
I never saw you in my life till now.
Oh, grief hath changed me since you last saw me, and careful hours with time's deformed hand have written strange features in my face. But tell me yet, dost thou not know my voice?
Neither.
Dromio, nor thou?
No, trust me, sir, nor I.
I am sure thou dost.
Aye, sir, but I am sure I do not, and whatever a man denies, you are now bound to believe him.
Not know my voice? Oh, time's extremity, hast thou so cracked and splitted my poor tongue in 7 short years, that here my only son knows not my feeble key of untuned cares? Though now this grained face of mine be hid and sap consumed winter's drizzled snow, and all the conduits of my blood froze up, yet hath my night in life of some memory, my wasting lamp some fading glimmer left, my dull deaf ears a little used to hear. All these old witnesses I cannot err. Tell me thou art my son Antipholus.
I never saw my father in my life.
But 7 years since, in Syracusa, boy, thou know'st we parted, but perhaps, my son, thou shamed to acknowledge me in misery?
The Duke and all that know me in the city can witness with me that it is not I ne'er saw Syracusa in my life.
I tell thee, Syracusian, 20 years have I been patron to Antipholus, during which time he ne'er saw Syracusia. I see thy age and dangers make thee dote.
Re-enter Amelia with Antipholus of Syracuse and Dromio of Syracuse.
Most mighty Duke, behold a man much wronged.
All gather.
I see 2 husbands, or mine eyes deceive me.
One of these men is genius to the other, and so of these. Which is the natural man, and which the spirit? Who deciphers them?
I, sir, am Dromio. Command him away. I, sir, am Dromio. Pray let me stay.
Egon, art thou not, or else his ghost?
Oh, my old master, who hath bound him here?
Whoever bound him, I will loose his bonds and gain a husband by his liberty. Speak, old Aegon, if thou beest the man that hadst a wife once called Amelia, that bore thee at a burden of 2 fair sons, or if thou best the same Aegon speak, and speak unto the same Amelia.
If I dream not, thou art Amelia. If thou art she, tell me where is that son that floated with thee on the fatal raft?
By men of Epidamnum, and he and I, and the twin Dromio, all were taken up. But by rude fishermen of Corinth, by force took Dromio my son from them, and me they left with those Epidurniums. What then became of them, I cannot tell, I to this fortune that you see me in.
Why, here begins his morning story right. These 2 Antipholuses, these 2 so like, and these 2 Dromios, one in semblance, besides her urging of her wrecked sea. These are the parents to these children, which accidentally are met together. Antipholus, those came from Corinth first.
No, sir, not I. I came from Syracuse.
Stay, stand apart. I know not which is which.
I came from Corinth, my most gracious lord.
And I with him.
Brought to this town by that most famous warrior, Duke Menaphon, your most renowned uncle.
Which one of you 2 did dine with me today?
I, gentle mistress.
And are not you my husband?
No, I say nay to that. And so do I. Yet she did call me so, and this fair gentlewoman, her sister here, did call me brother. What I told you then, I hope I shall have leisure to make good, if this be not a dream I see in here.
That is the chain, sir, which you had of me.
I think it be, sir, I deny it not. And you, sir, for this chain arrested me.
I think I did, sir. I deny it not.
I sent you money, sir, to be your bail. By Dromio, I think he brought it not.
No, none by me. The purse of ducats.
This purse of ducats I received from you and Dromio, my man, did bring them me, and I see we still did meet each other's man, and I was ta'en for him, and he for me, and thereupon these errors are arose. These ducats pawn I for my father here.
It shall not need. Thy father hath his life.
Sir, I must have that diamond from you.
There, take it, and much thanks for my good cheer.
Renowned Duke, vouchsafe to take the pains to go with us into the abbey here, and hear a large discourse of all our fortunes, and all that is assembled in this place, that by this sympathized one day's error have suffered wrong. Go keep us company, and we shall make full satisfaction. 33 years have I but gone in travail of you, my sons, until this present hour, my heavy burden near delivered. The Duke, my husband, my children both, and you, the calendars of nativity, go a gossip's feast, and go with me after a long wreath of such festivity.
With all my heart, I'll gossip at this feast.
Exit all but Antipholus of Syracuse, Antipholus of Ephesus, Dromio of Syracuse, and Dromio of Ephesus. Master, shall I fetch your stuff from shipboard?
Dromio, what stuff of mine hast thou embarked?
Your goods that lay at host, sir, in the Centaur.
He speaks to me, I am your master, Dromio. Come, go with us, we'll look to that anon. Embrace thy brother here, we'll rejoice with him.
Exeunt Antipholus of Syracuse and Antipholus of Ephesus. There there is a fat friend at your master's house that kitchened me for your 2-day at dinner. She now shall be my sister, not my wife. Methinks you are my glass and not my brother. I see by you that I am a sweet-faced youth. Will you walk in to see their gossiping? Not I, sir, but you are my elder. That is a question. How shall we try it? We'll draw cuts for the senior. Till then, lead thou first. Nay, then thus. We came into the world like brother and brother, and now let's go hand in hand, not one before another. Exeunt. Comedy of Errors.
Oh, there we go.
Yes. Oh man, somebody suggesting that the toad should be William Crokespeare.
Oh my god, I love it.
Perfect.
Crystal, is that Crystal? Did I hear a Crystal?
No, this is Alice.
Hello.
Hi, we're just taking like 10 minutes, just to, I don't know, give everyone a break. And then, yeah, I believe we should be. Fantastic.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good job, everyone.
Everyone
Good
did
job,
great.
everyone.
Nice job.
Yeah, it's like 20 past 8 in the morning here.
Oh my
Thank you for
gosh.
being so
Jeez.
patient.
No worries, no worries. Glad I could help out. I have to move an office in like a few hours, but depending if that takes us all day, I'll drop you a line. I've got Discord on my phone, and I'll kind of keep an eye on it. And if I get a chance to be free, I'll let you know. It might not be Saturday, but I'm maybe free on the Sunday. I'll just have to kind of see how it plays out.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thanks for all of the reading that you've done. It's been
Thank
great. I'm
you.
glad that we finally
Yeah,
managed to put you in for some good stuff.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Thanks for
Nice job.
being so accommodating and putting all this together. This has been special, and I hope it continues to be special. And on that note, I am going to peace out because my eyelids feel like dead weights.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Get some sleep.
Good
Bye.
seeing you all.
Bye-bye.
You did great.
Thanks.
RJ, you're gonna
Yes.
be our lead. So
Oh, goodness. All
you're,
right.
you're gonna read Petruchio. Petruchio. I always it's a CH with a sh sounds.
Petruchio.
Okay.
Yeah, I always
Okay, I'm going live in 3, 2, 1. When you're ready.
Guys, gals, non-binary pals, hello. Welcome to the late night slash time to go to, well, I guess it's Saturday or Sunday, or it's, I don't even know what time it is where y'all are. It's all over the place. Hello and welcome. Thanks for still being here. Thanks for just showing up. Thank you, everyone who is excited for a little bit of really uncomfortable sexism, because boy, do we have about an hour and a half of that for you now. It is Taming of the Shrew. Just to prep you all for this one, like, yes, boy howdy. This is a little bit of a contentious play. This is a little bit of a contentious play because we're gonna try to have some fun with the sexual politics of it, but let it be known that even by the standards of Shakespeare's day, this was a little, hey Willie shakes, tone it down a little. So over the next 90 minutes, we will cancel Shakespeare, and I'm sure his 500-year dead corpse will be very, very disappointed that Twitter has decided he is done.